Good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Wanted to bring you an update on the weekend forecast and into the work week next week because we are set to see dangerous heat return to the region. Again, all things considered, the weather's been pretty nice for us the last few weeks, especially on Monday of this week when we had those highs in the 70s, dry air. Really was incredibly nice. Had a lot of the windows open. Unfortunately, that's coming to an end as we head into the upcoming weekend, and again through much of the week next week. As again, it is going to be awfully hot. So we'll go ahead and we'll pull up our weather graphics. That's not our weather graphics. This is our weather graphics. There we go. We have heat advisories and excessive heat warnings that are out across a good chunk of the state. There's a couple counties there. I believe that's Rock and one other one, Garfield maybe, or Wheeler. They're in central Nebraska that currently aren't covered in anything. That does not mean it's not going to be hot there. It will be. Again, I think that's just kind of one of the borders of the of the weather offices. So again, it kind of looks a little goofy, but again, for everyone, we're going to be seeing dangerous heat as we head over the next several days and into the week next week. Again, so the heat advisories there are in orange. We have excessive heat warnings in place in the sort of magenta color, and that includes Lincoln, Omaha, southeastern and south central sections of the state. And for our neck of the woods, again in Lincoln, that excessive heat warning is in place all the way from Saturday at 1 p.m. through Wednesday at 10 p.m. So that covers almost the entire weekend, plus Monday, plus Tuesday, plus Wednesday. And again, we still could see the dangerous heat continue into Thursday and Friday of next week. So again, very, very, very hot, going to be very humid. Heat index value is going to be way up there. Again, not just us either. If you zoom out, we have some sort of heat headline, whether it be a heat advisory or excessive heat warning, stretching all the way from the Gulf of Mexico all the way to the Canadian border. So again, much of the interior of the country is going to be dealing with the excessive heat, the dangerous heat. So again, I want to make sure you take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your neighbors over the course of the next several days. So if we run you through the forecast over the next few days in terms of highs and heat index values, these are our high temperatures for the day on Saturday. Again, we're into the upper 90s, lower triple digits across most of the state. In Lincoln, around 101 is where we're expecting right now. Same for Grand Island, Hastings, and North Platte. 105 in Hebron, and maybe even hotter than that as you head across areas just to our south into north central Kansas. So again, that's just actual air temperature. If we look at potential peak heat index values, that 125 in Lincoln is probably a little high. We need to tone that down a little bit. But we're looking at heat index values probably between 100 to 110 degrees being possible through the day on your Saturday, especially in the afternoon, early evening hours. And again, that is the number in the shade. It will feel even hotter in the sun. So again, high dew points, high air temperature will lead to those very high heat index values. High temperatures on Sunday are expected to dial back a little bit thanks to a weak cold front that's going to kind of dance through the area. Again, it'll dial back temperatures a few degrees, but we're still looking at highs in the mid to upper 90s to near 100 degrees across the southern half of the state. The northern parts of the state will probably see more relief from that front. Temperatures all the way down to the mid 80s for areas like Valentine, Ainsworth, and O'Neill. But again, we're still going to have heat index values probably in the triple digits for the southeastern corner of the state, including in Lincoln, Beatrice, Hebron, Falls City, Nebraska City, again between 100 and 110 degrees possible. Temperatures ratchet right back up, though, as we head into the week next week. On Monday, again, these are actual air temperatures between about 100 and 105 for almost the entire state. Again, 102 right now is the forecast for Lincoln, 105 is the forecast for Grand Island, 103 is the forecast for North Platte. Heat index values, again, we're looking at between 100 and 110 degrees, maybe even higher. 115, maybe not out of the question. Again, the 128 in Lincoln, that number is not correct. But regardless, again, dangerous heat. So if you're going to be out and about at any time this weekend or through the week next week, you need to try and limit that time outside. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. High temperatures then again on Tuesday stay well into the triple digits. Again, statewide, we're looking at 100 to 105 for afternoon high temperatures. And again, when we factor in those dew points, we're looking at heat index values, again, anywhere between 100 and about 110, 115 degrees across the state. And again, I said it already, but that number is calculated for the shade. It will feel even hotter in direct sun. Wednesday, again, we're still looking at heat index or actual high temperatures, between about 100 and 105 for most of 1011 country. The forecast in Lincoln being 102, 104 for Grand Island, 101 in Kearney, 102 in North Platte. Heat index values, again, for most of 1011 country between about 105, maybe 110, as high as maybe 115 degrees, not out of the question. Again, we kind of dealt with one round of this a few weeks ago in July, and again, that was just a day or two, but this looks like it could be an even longer stretch of heat. High temperatures then again on Thursday do dial back at least by a few degrees, but we're still looking at highs anywhere from the middle 90s to the lower triple digits. 101 the forecast in Lincoln, 102 in Beatrice, 106 in Hebron, and again, feels like temperatures, especially for the eastern half of the state, still between about 100 and 110 degrees for the day on Thursday. Friday, we finally see some relief. Temperatures do dial back down just a little bit. We're looking at mid-80s to low 90s. Those numbers, though, still above average for late August. And again, feels like temperatures still may be approaching 100 degrees in some areas across the state. So again, dangerous heat as we head over the course of the next week. So again, many of us already know some of these tips and tricks, but again, important to remember over the course of the next week. Dress for the conditions, lightweight, loose-fitting, light-colored clothing. Again, if you can, just, don't go out at all. Again, hydrate, eat light. Again, plenty of water. Avoid pop, things like that. Eat light, easy to digest foods, lots of fruit. Avoid the salty foods. Also, just important to remember to slow down on days like we're going to be having over the next several. Find air conditioning. Again, if for whatever reason you don't have air conditioning, get out and find some place that does. Hang out at the library, movie theater, a mall, just something like that. Avoid direct sunlight. Again, sunburn reduces your body to dissipate heat, and again, can make you feel even worse. And again, take a cool shower or bath if you are out and about, again, to help regulate your body temperature. Again, important to know the distinction between heat exhaustion and heat stroke as we head over the course of the next week. Again, heat exhaustion, you feel faint or dizzy. Heat stroke, you have a throbbing headache. With heat exhaustion, you have excessive sweating. With heat stroke, you have no sweating. With heat exhaustion, you have cool, pale, clammy skin. With heat stroke, you have red, hot, dry skin. Again, nausea and vomiting with both of them. With heat exhaustion, you have a rapid, weak pulse. With heat stroke, you have a rapid, strong pulse. With heat exhaustion, you have muscle cramps. And with heat stroke, you may, in fact, lose consciousness. Again, with heat exhaustion, you need to get inside. You need to find someplace cool, air-conditioned, drink water. Again, take a cool shower. If you're experiencing heat stroke, you need to call 911, get yourself to an urgent care or someplace like that where you can be treated. Also, extremely important to remember over the course of the next week or so, vehicles can be deadly. Again, if you think you're just going to run inside to wherever it might be for a few minutes to grab some groceries or whatever it might be, again, the temperature outside is 95, and it's going to be well above 95 for the next week. Temperature inside your car after just 10 minutes is about 114 degrees. After about 30 minutes, it's almost 130 degrees. And after an hour, it's 140 degrees. And again, that's basically an oven at that point. And again, we see it every year, and we hate to see it because it's avoidable. But small children, pets who are killed because they are left in hot vehicles during the summer months. Again, that's obviously something that we don't want to see, but it is something that we see every year. So again, we always say to look before you lock. Make sure you're paying attention to who and what is in your vehicle. This goes for, again, small children, infants, pets, things like that. Again, I just mentioned pets, but again, they feel the heat too. Make sure they have plenty of fresh, cool water. Make sure they have shade or air conditioning. If you're going to take them for a walk, do it early or late. Again, the asphalt and concrete, sand can burn paws. And again, like I just mentioned, never leave your pets in the vehicle. So here's a look at that Lincoln 7-day forecast. Again, we had to go in and make our numbers a little bit smaller because we had so many triple digits on there, but you can see hot, dry weather for much of the next week. By next Friday, again, as temperatures do cool back with a cold front that's forecast to move through the area, that will at least bring us an outside chance, 20%, maybe seeing a little bit of moisture. But again, very hot, again, very dry over the course of the next week, which again is not unusual for mid to late August, but again, temperatures in the triple digits as they are, or as they will be. Again, they're going to be record to near record highs almost every day. And again, if in terms of just consecutive days, with triple-digit temperatures in Lincoln. Again, if we ran a stretch with 4 days in a row, that would be the longest stretch that we've had for quite some time. Again, the most recent sort of noteworthy stretch is we had a 5-day stretch back in 2012 in July when we had 5 days in a row with triple-digit heat. We could see 5 out of 6 as we head over the course of the next several days. So again, keep it tuned to 1011 over the next several days for more details. Again, meteorologist Brandon Rector will have additional forecast details coming up 1011 now at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock tonight. And again, I believe meteorologist Brad Anderson will have you covered tomorrow, working for meteorologist Melissa Meter. And I want to say meteorologist Brandon Rector will also have you covered on Sunday, again, as he's working for Melissa that day as well. But like I mentioned kind of at the very beginning, make sure you take this week, watch out for your friends, your family, your neighbors, things like that. If you have an elderly neighbor, maybe they might need some help. I might want to just check on them over the course of the next week or so with some of these dangerous temperatures. So again, hope everyone stays safe, hope everyone stays cool, hope everyone has a nice weekend. Again, as always, make sure you keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of the latest news, weather, and sports. Until next time, though, thanks everyone for watching, and hope everyone has a nice week.